Tucker Carlson doesn't care about white people. It's true. It's true. You might think that's weird for a white supremacist, but Tucker Carlson doesn't care about white people. He may care about some rich white people, but in general, he does not care about white people or the conditions that white people face. Because if he did, he wouldn't be spouting weird anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about white supremacist great replacements. He would talk about the actual great replacement that occurred, and that was the erosion of the working class in America. Hey everybody, Tucker's back.
Edge of something unprecedented and something awful. You could feel it. Even Donald Trump feels it. Maybe for the first time in his life, Donald Trump seems sincerely interested in lowering the temperature, not just for his own sake, but for the country's. He said that. He's never said anything like that. Maybe he doesn't mean it, but when has he ever said that? Let's all calm down a little, he said the other day.
Yeah, I could think of a couple reasons why he might be talking like that. A few. Yeah. You know, there is that long list of different stories he was telling related to the raid, and they've kind of evolved and changed over time from this is an illegal raid with no purpose to they were taking documents that I need to get back to those were declassified documents. I declassified them myself to, well, they might not be declassified, but they're mine. So I should have them back, please. That's kind of been a little...
This isn't good. Yeah, he's right. It's not good. And not just for him, for all of us. This could get...
Matt Binder, my fave. Check your Twitter DMs. Hi, Lance. I was away last week, so I missed a lot of news around Trump and other stuff. I was going to cover it on my stream, but just thought it would be more fun to have someone to cover it with you. Any chance you're interested and available tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So that would be 6 p.m. my time. I could squeeze a Chico in between that. Sure. I'll take my beautiful... Matt, have you seen my beautiful son? Look at him right there, just curled up, little croissant. Well, he's like a half croissant right now, but yeah. I'll take him out for a walk at 4 or 5ish, and then I'll stain myself with nutrients, and then I'll come on the show, and we can talk about Trump. He's having a time. You know what's great about Trump right now, Matt, is no matter how bad your week is going, his is worse. His is worse. I think it's decidedly worse. So we can go through that. And then we can also talk about how apparently the left loves the FBI now. Yeah, that's supposed to be a thing. Apparently if you point out conservative hypocrisy, because all of a sudden they're saying defund the FBI for the first time, and now Marjorie Taylor Greene is selling defund the FBI t-shirts. If you point out that hypocrisy, it turns out that you secretly love the FBI. Yeah, that's also a thing that's happening online. It's been great. It's been absolutely great. I don't know if you've seen that Nina Turner and Jimmy Dore are actually feuding over that, because Jimmy Dore didn't understand what she was doing when she was calling out conservative hypocrisy, and then he was just like, oh, fucking faux leftist here, you see this faux leftist that hates the FBI and all this other shit. I do. I love the FBI. Well, all the left does, apparently. That's all it took, just to switch. I mean, that's what happens to liberals. Let's be totally honest. The liberals, as soon as Donald Trump was being investigated, Mueller, she wrote, and that entire generation, they love the FBI, that's for sure. But the left has been pretty consistent with their criticisms of the FBI. So there's that.
Very bad, very fast. And the Biden people know that perfectly well. They know what could happen if they continue down this path of using law enforcement to cling to power. But they don't care, because they're facing a repudiation from voters, and they're desperate, and they'll do anything. But at what cost?
At what cost?
Pray they pull back before it's too late. Edge of something unprecedented.
Before they come for you, right? That's the narrative coming out right now between Tucker and Tulsi, all these people. Yes, well, what you are witnessing is unfettered power in the FBI and their ability to come after anyone. What if they come after you? What if they come after a civil rights leader? What if they come after a civil rights movement? What if they come after LGBTQ plus people? What if they come after people who identify as communists? What if they come after people who identify as socialists? What if they come after people who just identify as leftists? What if? What if? What if that happens? What'll that be like? Here's the Whole Foods story, just not behind a paywall. Okay. An internal Whole Foods email shows was worried that allowing employees to wear Black Lives Matter apparel could welcome in union talk per Bloomberg. Oh, and this link is going to not... Oh, nice. Whole Foods was concerned that allowing employees to wear Black Lives Matter signage could appear to be pro-union, Bloomberg reports. Per internal email, one higher-up said it could be opening the door for union activity. Whole Foods employees have been fighting with the company since mid-2020 over the dress code. Whole Foods management has long been battling with the employees over if they can wear Black Lives Matter messaging at work, and a new report sheds more light on the company's argument. In a Monday feature, Bloomberg wrote in depth about the prosecutor Jennifer Abruzzo leading the legal fight for Whole Foods workers' rights to don masks and other apparel. To don masks? You're not allowed to wear masks?
Clean up your room.
Another apparel showcasing their support for the Black Lives Matter movement. Amazon did not immediately respond to the insider's request for comment. As Bloomberg noted, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos voiced his support for the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020. The movement received renewed sense of urgency following the May 2020 police killing of Minneapolis resident George Floyd. Some Whole Foods employees began wearing Black Lives Matter masks and other articles of clothing to voice their solidarity. But that summer, the company enforced a ban on its workers wearing such apparel, prompting Whole Food employees to sue their employer in July 2020. The lawsuit stated that Whole Foods had previously allowed workers to wear pride flags to show their support for LGBTQ plus co-workers before, and was therefore being selective about its enforcement. Whole Food responded in October that year with a new stricter dress code policy, banning workers from wearing any kind of logo, slogan, messaging, flag, or any type of symbol. Damn. So the hammer came on down hard, eh? It's just like that. Masks are obviously political statements. Why? I'm not saying you're wrong, but why? You know, why are people so mad when they see someone else wearing a mask? How dare you? How dare you try and not get me sick? Are you trying to prevent me from becoming ill with a potential disease that you have? How dare you? Take that off. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Tucker needs more time away. He's just spouting nonsense, but that's what he's always spouting. That's all he spouts is nonsense. And I'm going to be honest with you, and this is going to be I think a spicy take for some people. It's going to be a little controversial. Tucker Carlson doesn't care about white people. It's true. You might think that's weird for a white supremacist, but Tucker Carlson doesn't care about white people. He may care about some rich white people, but in general, he does not care about white people or the conditions that white people face. Because if he did, he wouldn't be spouting weird anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about white supremacist great replacements. He would talk about the actual great replacement that occurred, and that was the erosion of the working class in America. Because what was happening in America in the middle period of the later century, when all the jobs started to go overseas because corporations were like, hey, we could make a whole bunch more money if we shut down our plants in America and then we just ship them overseas where labor is way more cheap. We don't actually care about our employees. We don't actually care about Americans. We don't actually care about white people, whatever you want to call it. And then what happened after that? Robots. Robots started replacing workers. So yes, tens of thousands of white people lost their jobs. All of a sudden, they had to find other forms of employment. Look at what happened to Detroit. And all of a sudden, guess what? Poverty usually is combined with a lot of other things, social mores, if you will. But all of a sudden, there's a rise in addiction. Huge opioid crisis combines with that. All these kind of things that affect white people. But Tucker Carlson doesn't talk about that. He just talks about weird conspiracy theories about people getting replaced by other demographics. And if the white race is reduced to a certain population, then apparently we won't even know the country that we live in anymore. Is it wrong for me to look around and not recognize the country I'm in? Is it wrong for me to want to be surrounded by people that are like me? Isn't Western culture better than other cultures? Why would we want other cultures coming in here? That's the weird shit he spouts. But he doesn't talk about the things that actually affect white people, especially poor white people, because he doesn't care about them. He doesn't care. It's just the truth, you know? Robots and automation were such a big thing that there was a movement in Britain to destroy machines. That was an actual thing in Britain where people were going into factories. The Luddites, I think is what they were called. They were going into factories and destroying the automation machines because they're like, oh, the robots are trying to destroy everything. And it's like, no, he doesn't want to identify the exploitation that is inherent under capitalism. He doesn't want to identify that corporations, as they grow larger, cannibalize all their competition, form monopolies until there's only a small amount of companies that control everything, and then they want the cheapest labor possible. So they'll ship their plants overseas or they'll replace their entire workforces with robots. They don't care because they don't care about their employees, because it's just about extracting as much surplus value as possible. That's the way the whole thing works. But he'll never tell you that. He'll never talk about that. He'll just talk about Western culture being superior to all other cultures. Why in the world should we want people from other cultures coming in here? All that other bullshit. Because again, Tucker Carlson does not care about white people. And that's my TED Talk.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojak, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.